Hey guys, so today we're going to study all these HTML topics and we're going to master them. And this is the only HTML video you will need. It will cover everything from basics of HTML to everything you really need to work in the industry. HTML has more topics than these topics, but these 11 cover the most used topics. You will use these topics. These are like the 70 to 80% of the topics which you will use 90 to 95% of the times. I will tell you if you found something which you haven't seen before, how to deal with it. So let's get started. So we will start by understanding what is HTML. So basically, if you open a site like this Netflix site, you see there are different elements on the site which are placed at different positions. For example, you see this Netflix written over here. You see this button which changes the language from English to Hindi. And you also see this sign in option. And you see text, different type of text here. And you see this input box and you see also see these buttons and you see these uh, rectangular boxes with the movie names and everything. And you see a lot more things on this website. Like this, if you open any website, you will see it's divided into a lot of elements. Elements simply means the component of the website from which the website is being made. So these components are made using HTML and they are styled using CSS. The styling, if you I give you an example of the styling, you see this background image on which these text appear. This image is inserted using CSS. And what JavaScript does, basically JavaScript make these buttons functionable. We will understand these later in the course, and I'll explain to you each and everything in detail. But for now, let's learn HTML. So we have understand what is HTML. Uh, so let's take it. And now let's go and set up our HTML environment. So for setting up HTML environment, you need to go on your browser and search for VS Code. And from this website, which is code.visualstudio.com, you can install it. It will detect your operating system and you can simply install it. I think most of you might have this. And if you have any problem in installing it, I would say you should refer to ChatGPT. And I don't want you to teach these things, these basic things, because I want you to interact with AI and learn these things yourself. Because in today's world, if I face any problem with web development, I simply go to ChatGPT and ask for it, and it solves my problem. You also have heard news about AI replacing web developers. I am guaranteeing you it's not going to happen anywhere near 10 to 15 years. I'll talk about this later in a separate video. But ChatGPT and AIs like that, Claude and Gemini, etc., makes our work really easy. So the search for information, every information is just a prompt away. So basically, that's what they do. They make our work faster. For example, for building a website, we require 100 people. Now with ChatGPT and Claude, we will only require 10 to 20 people. That's what they do. So coming back to our uh, topic, so you have to install VS Code and also you have to go here in this extensions tab uh, right here, and you have to install something called as Live Server. You can search for it and you have to install the Live Server. I've already installed it. Uh, this one, it's by Ritwik Day. You have to install it, and when you will install it, an option which is of Go Live appears here. A Go Live options appear here at the bottom right of the of your window. You can see it right here, and when you click on this, you will go live. So let's start our HTML course by making an HTML file. So for making a new file in VS Code, you have to go on this button here, which is of new file. You can see it here. and we by default name our HTML file as index.html. So just name it, and we're ready to go. So we have set up our HTML environment. That's right. Okay. So now basically, when we write HTML, we basically wants to see how our HTML looks on our website. So basically, we design our website on from HTML. So basically, we use this extension Go Live, and it opens up our dummy website and show us how our code looks on the website. So basically, uh, we have written nothing on our HTML file. So we get an empty page right now. So let's try and write something and let's see what happens. So we will write a p tag, uh, simply I, and we'll close it. I'll tell you what is it. Just I'm like testing it by writing something. And we go on here, we refresh the page, and you can clearly see there is hi appearing up here. So that means our live server is working. And if you want to do development, one thing I think you should use is uh, opening these tabs side by side, so you can do development easily, and you can just minimize this thing here, and now you can do development easily. Okay, so we have set up our HTML environment. Let us understand some boilerplate code which is required for HTML. So for boilerplate code in HTML, you just have to press the Shift and 1, and you will get an exclamation mark like this, and then press Tab, and it will write the boilerplate code. Just a second. You see, it has written the boilerplate code here. That's great. I guess it's written here. Yeah. So you can see the boilerplate code written here. And let us understand this boilerplate code a little. You don't need to go very much in depth for understanding this boilerplate code, but I think you should understand a little bit. But so this basically the first line tells you that it is an HTML5 document. HTML5 is the latest version of HTML, and all these things tells you that the website you are going to create, basically it's used to uh, make your website responsive. What is responsive website? I'll tell you later in detail. So basically, what you have to keep in mind that you have to write your code in the body tag, and you should also give your title. For example, now uh, for now I give it my first HTML code. Okay, so now you just head to the body and you write your code here, just like we have written hi over there. Uh, if you refresh the browser, the hi disappears because we have erased it. And now let's type in the body, type our real code in the body and learn HTML. So we have understand the boilerplate code. So let's check it. Now let's understand all these basic tags. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this line, and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to select it again, and I'm going to press Control and backslash. So this is going to comment out. So we have already learned about comment. So basically, if you press Control plus backslash, you can comment a line in HTML. What comments mean that the compiler, the live server will ignore them, and they will be like treat, uh, treated as the code which have to be ignored. So basically, these are for the developers so that they can s- uh, get some things about the code. If they open a new code base, they can get some knowledge about the code base. Okay, so It's done. You have all learned about comments. Let us learn about all these tags one by one in detail. So the P tag basically is for the paragraph tab. You just have to press P and tab, and it will all or it will create the opening and closing tag for you. The things written in these brackets are basically called a tag, and every tag must open and close. So this the with the bracket and backslash, this is the closing tag and this is the opening tag. And whatever you write in between them is basically an element of the tag. So let's write hi. I am gonna go while tonight. Pause with code. Okay. So you see all these things are appearing right here. Uh, let's do one thing. Let's open VS Code in this window for some time because it was not looking that good. So basically, whenever you have to type a paragraph on your website, you will have to use the paragraph tag. It's simple, and let's not talk about H1 to H6. They are the heading tags. Whenever you have to write a heading, you will use these tags. And let's say, hey there, and you see, hey there on this website appears a little bolder and also little bigger than this paragraph text right here. So these things are used for heading, and their sequence, which is H1 to H6, uh, explains the quality of the heading. Means the H6 heading will be shorter than H1, and the H1 heading is the largest, and H6 is the shortest. For example, if I give you H3 here, I, and H6 here, J. You see, these are three different headings. They are all bold, but this is H1, so this is very big, and this is H3, so it's a little smaller, and this is H6, so it's the smallest. H5, H4 will come somewhere around here, and H2 will come somewhere around here. So these are all the heading tags. Now let us see how you can make a tag bold italic. So basically, you're gonna type bold B, and you type a tag inside this tag. This is called tag chaining. So basically, for example, you type a paragraph tag inside this beta. For making the opening and closing tag, I just type B and press tab. So inside this paragraph tag, I write hi, brother. So we go on this website and you see hi, brother here. And this appears bold just because we use bold here. And if I change this bold to italic, if I want to make this text also italic, so I will just make a italic tag here, which is represented by I, and you will now see this text is also italic. So this is tag nesting, which simply means placing one tag inside another. So I hope you understand it. It's simple. And if you want to have a line break, you see right here, if I copy this thing, if I cut this thing and paste it here, you may think that these two should appear in different lines. These two should appear in same lines, but that doesn't happen. You see, if you want a line break after this, suppose you are writing a newspaper website and the article is over, so you want a line break after this, you just can use the BR tag, and It's it only has the opening tag, it doesn't have the closing tag. So you use this and you can see some spaces inserted in this HTML. Okay. You shouldn't worry about how these things look initially, because that's all that things we will deal in the CSS course. So just learn what I'm teaching you and you'll be fine. So great. And now let us go for the HR tag. What BR tag does, it leaves some space, line break. But what HR tag does, it inserts a line, a horizontal line. You can see right here. It inserts it. So I guess that's you understand that we have already learned about commits. So these things are over. Great. So now we should study how we can attach links into our site. So let me delete all this code. For example, also, okay, so we have completed our fourth part of the video. Now let us learn how to attach links and images to our HTML. So I have made a about.html, a new file named as about.html here. And you see, I've named this title about, and I've inserted a h1 here, which is in simple, it's written about. So I want to go from index.html file to about.html file by using a link. So we will use a tag for this. Just press A and tab, and in that this href, just write about.html. And when you go on your live server, so we have already completed the fourth part of our video. Now let's go and learn link and images. So basically, uh, whenever you want to attach a link inside your HTML file or an image inside your HTML file, I'm going to show you how you should do it. So for inserting an image, just type img and press tab. And inside the source, you want to give the image link, and inside this alt, you want to give the image name. So for example, if I want an image, I should go on Chrome and I should search for coffee. And let's say I like this image, and let's just copy the link, copy the image address. This thing here, just click on copy image address, and just paste it inside the source, and inside alt, you rewrite coffee. And my guys, it's done. You will see an image inserted right here on your website. With using CSS, you can also change how this image looks on your site, but we will do that later. And see how this looks on your site. Whenever you are developing, I guess Chrome is way better for developing things, for looking how they're looking at development. So let's go ahead and learn how we can insert a link. Also, you can do one other thing. If you want, for example, this image to also appear, so you save this image inside for example, now I'm working on this. So basically, you save your image in the folder, and you go on your desktop, and you have that image right here, and you create a new folder which is called as images, and you just paste this image inside the images folder, and let's go. Uh, so basically, you see this folder appear right here, and it has that image. the coffee image, and we want that we don't want to use the image the on the Chrome. We want to use it from our local system. So what we should do, we should create a folder inside the uh, folder we are writing HTML, and just inside it we can have all the images we want. So if you want to insert this image from here, just inside the source type slash, and you can see images slash and images dot jpg. Okay, so you have to type slash images dot jpg. This slash basically means that you are going inside the folder images, and inside the folder images you want images dot jpg, and you go here, you refresh it. Let's look on Chrome. It was kind of okay. You see that this image is inserted here. It is different from the one we saw earlier. So yeah, you can see that. Okay, so that's great. And now we want to attach a link uh, beneath this image. So let's for attaching link we use the A tag. A is basically called the anchor tag. And for example, we want to create a link such that if we click on it, it redirects us to about.html. So we will simply type about.html here, and we will name this link about page. And you see on our site, you see this link here, right here, this about page link. If you click on it, you see we go to our about page. Let's see our about page. I've just written the basic HTML format, basic boilerplate code. I've given the title about, and I've just written a H1 in it. So you see it's on the browser. If we want that the link we opens up in uh, a new tab, so we have to type for target equals to blank here. And now if we click on this link, just a second, don't think I've refreshed the browser. Ah, yes, you see here, sometimes it happens. You have to refresh the browser before the code actually works. So whenever you click on the about page now, you go to the about page will open in a new tab. So that's all about images and links. So we have completed this also, and this also. We are actually doing really great. So let us now understand this. Basically, if you want grocery shopping list should appear on your website, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. So basically, there are two types of list in HTML. First is an ordered list, which is represented by OL. Just press OL and tab, and inside it you type li for each element. Okay, and you just type your element here. For example, I want to buy banana. I want to buy an apple. I want to buy some sugar. That's great. And you see, uh, an ordered list appears uh, on the website with our three items we chose. And now let's see what an unordered list is. Uh, Tag for unordered list is UL, and the inside tag is same alive. We type the same things. Banana, let's say pear, and let's say blueberry. And you see right here, we have an unordered list in front of us. That's great. So this done. Now let us understand what are div and span tag. This is one of the most used concept in HTML. So let's understand it. Let me delete all this code, or let me just cut all this code, and let's create a div right here. So if I frankly explain you what is div, it's just a rectangular container. For example, if you go onto a website like this, you see uh, this blue box over here, and then also you see this this box over here, this with the background image, and then you see these different boxes over here. These are basically a div. A div is, you can understand it like it's for holding a lot of tags. It's a tag with a lot of tag inside it. For example, your website has multiple parts. If I give you an example of a website, for example, we go to this website named uh, the New York Times. You see, there are different news here. So each news is, you can see, if I draw a rectangular box around here, you can judge that each news is appearing in some of a rectangular format. So that is what we use diff for. Okay, just let us write some code inside it. Whatever code we have written, if we have to divide our website into multiple rectangular components, we will use div. Let's see how this code appears. It appears the same, but let me do one thing, and you are not going to understand this thing, but don't you worry, I'll teach it to you, but in the next video. But you just bear with me for some time now. Okay, uh, I have linked the CSS. I'm gonna add some CSS to div, and you're gonna understand what div really means. So I'm gonna target this div here, and I'm gonna go for background color black. Now you see. Now you really understand the div. A div is just a rectangular container. It is used to divide your site into different parts. And you see right here, the div appears. You see the text here uh, got invisible because of the black background. If I have to do that, mm, color, and you might see the text right here. See, that is basically a div. When you use control and the mouse scroll bar, you can zoom in and zoom out of the site. So if we zoom out completely from the site, you see it's just a rectangular container for holding different type, which can hold different type of elements. Whereas span, what does span do? Span is an inline container. For example, I type hello world right here. Uh, it's an inline container. Let's give some CSS to it. See this? It's just an inline container which takes the space required for it. For example, the div above have taken all the space available to it, but this span right here has taken only the space that is required for it to exist. So that's the basic difference between span and div. We're gonna understand all this more when we make projects on it. So don't you worry about this now. Just watch the next lectures and you're gonna understand it very well. So we have completed it. That's great. Now let us understand about IDN classes. Whenever we are working in a production grade application, production level application, there are a lot of code involved. There is a lot of code involved. For example, a typical website like Netflix has around lakhs of lines of code in it. So for example, this New York Times website, you see the news written inside these rectangular divs. You can also inspect this website by clicking, right clicking and mouse and clicking inspect here. And you can see its front-end code right here. What you see right here is not its total, it's all of its code. It's just its front-end code, and all its backend is kept private because of security reasons. And every website does so, because if you know the backend, you can like hack the site very easily. So basically, you see like this. This is a div right here. If you click on it, you can uh, see what's the code written inside it. So, for example, if you click on this button right here, you can select an element and view its code. So, for example, if I see this, it's basically a div, right? It's written inside a div, and it has some things written inside it. And you see a class is assigned to it. So basically, the thing is when multiple things you want to give the same is styling. When multiple elements in a website you want to give the same styling, instead of doing it manually, you give it a ID or class. A ID is unique. You can give only that to a that uh, an ID to only one element, but a class you can give multiple element the same class. For example, I give it ID here. That's a main div. And for example, I want all of these elements styling together. I want to style all these elements, the li elements of ordered and unordered list together. So what's I gonna do? I'm gonna give all this a class. Just a second. Yep. Uh, let's give it a class EL, and I'm gonna give all of these the class EL. This is a very basic example. I'll share with you how the uh, code works in the real production grade applications later in this course. So I gave it all the class EL. And now if I want to style this, you should ignore this. I'm just explaining, I will explain CSS in a separate video, but this is for your basic understanding. So whenever you are targeting a class, you used hashtag and EL. And for example, I want color of these things, Hollywood. Yes, you see, all these the color of these things has turned to Bollywood just by writing a single line of code. So basically, uh, it was a class. I'm sorry. So I was giving hash. Hash is for the ID, and the .el is dot is for the class for selecting the class in CSS. We'll learn about this later. And for example, I want to give some when I style this div. So I'll write hashtag main. And for example, I want to give its color. You see, initially it was blue, but aqua, but now it's this new color, a shade of white, a shade of gray, whatever. So that's all about the ID and classes. And now let's talk about semantic HTML. But I think before I should talk about input and button tag. So let's delete all this. We don't need it. An input tag is simply, let's create a div and keep our code inside it. The input tag is basically used to take input from the users. So for example, I inserted an input button right here and its type is text. You can have multiple input types like button, these are all the different input types you are aware. For example, now I've selected text to keep it simple, and you see a input bar. You see, you see an input bar appears before us, and we can type inside it. But it doesn't mean anything right now because we will see later how to make this work. But an input bar basically appears by using the input tag. And you see this black line because of this div right here, which I've styled here in that in style.css. So don't you worry about it. Now, if you want to uh, attach a button to our website, we create a button tag and let's say about page, and you see a button right here. We will later worry about styling, so don't you worry about that. If you click on it, nothing happens. I will teach you how to make this button workable, but for now, we are just understanding how to create a structure of a basic website. So don't you worry about how to make this work. You just uh, you should just focus on getting all the things which I'm speaking. So input and button tag is also done. Great. Now let's talk about semantic HTML. If we go again to the New York Times, if you scroll a little bit, from here the body starts, and they have not done it. Okay, no problem. I'm telling you it. So basically, if we go on ChatGPT, and let me give you, ask it explain semantic HTML and give its tags. So rather than just I'm using this because would need some notes to explain this. So rather, if we want to create a website, instead of doing this, we can use we can create elements like this. What this do? Whenever someone searches the website, so for example, uh, my website it searches wild with code, right? So it's written inside the header, so the browser will easily uh, search it, and it's better for the SEOs. SEO means how up your website appears in uh, in the Google search. For example, I search here uh, PDF PDF text editors. You see the I love PDF appears on the top because it has a better SEO and it's more clicked. So this basically uh, improves the SEO. If you want to learn this more, I guess you should go on ChatGPT and just learn this because they are just simple tags and you don't need it in the starting. When you are really working into some production level application, you should keep this in mind. So I won't suggest you learning this right now, stressing a lot about this right now, but you just have to go and read a little bit about it. Also, I give you one homework. The website we were opening was la Netflix, for example. You go and you go and inspect some websites, right? I think you should go and inspect some websites and see what you can understand in them. Okay, so that's for all for today. Thank you.